All right, man. Well, you have a blog post out there where you give us 5 ways that we can take the content from our Sunday services and extend it beyond Sunday. So I want to list them off really quick, and then we're going to dive into each one.
Sure.
So number 1 is share stories. Number 2, share lyrics. Number 3, share a sermon clip. Number 4, recap highlights from Sunday. And then number 5, celebrate volunteers. So go through each of those for us and expand them out.
Sure. Okay, so let's hit number 1, share testimonies and stories, okay? So nothing is better, in my opinion, than a life change story at your church. I mean, that's what I connect with the most is, man, that life has been changed. And I know that person. I see that person every week. Even if I may not know them personally, I know, I see that face. And so life change stories. It's also non-threatening. You know what I'm saying? It's not a billboard thing. Come to our thing. Don't miss out on this. It's a story. It's a relatable thing that a real person in our church had this thing happen to them, or they're growing in some way. And I can connect with that as a fellow member of my church. So life change, nothing is better than a life change story. So share about marriages being restored, a praise, a victory, a hurt, a pain, a prayer request, a celebration. Hey, this family's having a baby. Hey, this, whatever. Share testimonies and stories of what God is doing in your church. I think it will go a long way.
Yeah, we actually do that. We do that in our church. And so a few stories give people examples of, is like my wife was healed of infertility. We weren't able to have kids for 8 years, and now we have 4 kids. So we created a story about that.
Yeah.
And it's touched a lot of people. Recently, there's a guy in our church who was able to overcome an addiction to pornography. That's a story to tell, a hard story to tell, but he did it, and it helped a lot of people too. So, but a question for you, like when we're producing these stories, these videos, do they have to be like, like pristine production, or is there another way that we can do that?
Yeah.
What's your opinion on that?
You bring up a good point. That doesn't have to be a video. So I would, it could be a text story. It could be a photo with a small caption of a story. It could be a well-produced video. It could be an iPhone video. And I would suggest a mixture of all of that. So don't think that like you have to, we don't have a video guy on staff that can shoot it, and it doesn't look the best. Look, and this is coming from a guy who owns a media company, okay? Don't worry about that. Get the story out there, okay? Especially right now when everybody's, living in the, Zoom from their homes. Production value is not as important, one as it used to be, or really at all. Now, does that mean don't ever do well-produced videos? No, I think they're, your sermon bumpers, your things that are going to air on screen in a very, big way. I would pay the money or budget to produce those with high quality. But with the stories, you might do a few that are very nice, well put together testimony videos, but don't think that you have to. Have somebody shoot just a selfie video on their phone telling about, hey, just like you did. Hey, my wife and I were struggling with this. Here's how we've overcome that. Here's how God worked in our family. I hope it's an encouragement to you, because here's where we were. People respond to that. So I think it's all over the board. Does that help answer that?
Yeah, I think one of the most beautiful things that came out of the pandemic is the fact that we're kind of released to, put out those lower quality videos. Whereas before you might have felt the pressure to produce something great, where now you can just hop on Zoom with, whomever. Like right. Whenever we're launching our small group semesters, it's great to have stories about people who, were changed by their small groups. So now you just say, hey, let's schedule a Zoom call. You get on there, you ask them a few questions about what they think about small groups, and then you show it to the church.
Right.
Then you get a story out there.
Right.
Yeah, it's great.
Right.
Mixing sound seems complicated, but it doesn't have to be. Get access to our stress-free training to help you create great sound at church by visiting churchsoundmadesimple.com.